Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Nathan Fox, that's Ben Olson. Together we're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. This one is coming from Jason, who I can tell must be a military person by the very respectfully, what do you call that? Closing, trying to remember the stupid name that I had to memorize for that in 6th grade or whatever it was.
I know what you're talking about though, yeah.
Army dudes always say VR, so that's what Jason
Very
did.
Respectfully, yeah.
Yep.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Jason, and I am an active duty Army officer.
Sorry, Jason. We were just doing an episode of Thinking LSAT, and we were laughing about people putting "my name is blank" into the first sentence of their email. It's funny when people do that because we know who emailed us, but anyway.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Jason and I'm an active duty Army officer. I discovered your podcast approximately 3 weeks ago and I've already listened to 30 plus episodes. Thus, I aim to avoid comma splices and other grammar mistakes in this email. I currently have an LSAT Demon free account.
Okay, so Jason is setting the bar high for his own email by saying he aims to avoid comma splices and other grammar mistakes.
Yeah, now you're like inviting us to like look for those things. If you just like did it.
Drawn way. I can tell you at a glance, Jason, you're abusing the bold and underline. You've got bold in this next sentence, and then later you've got bold and underline at the same time on 3 different questions, which we appreciate actually because this email is kind of long, but okay, anyway.
Yeah, I'm interested in applying to law school this fall, 2022. Moreover, my primary goal is to, quote, not pay for law school. Okay, good.
Great.
Unfortunately, I will not qualify for nearly enough GI Bill or Army education benefits to pay for law school. Specifically, my GI Bill benefits will likely cover $15,000 per year. All right, so if you can get a full ride at some school, you might be able to, get that extra money and get a bonus, right? Get some money to go to law school. Is that how that works?
In some cases, I don't know.
I've used the LSAT Demon Scholarship Estimator, so I generally understand what LSAT combination is required to obtain a full ride to most schools.
By the way, that's at lsatdemon.com/scholarships, and everyone should look at that. lsatdemon.com/scholarships. If nothing else, it's the fastest way to get to all the 509 reports. Because the little PDF logo has the 509s directly for every single school. But yeah, man, you can get yourself 100 something different estimates from the public data by just putting in your LSAT and GPA. Mm-hmm. It's a no-brainer to go check that tool out.
Jason continues, I'm relatively new to the LSAT and the law school admissions process. However, I took a diagnostic LSAT 3 weeks ago and scored a 160. Okay, nice. That's a pretty damn good diagnostic score.
Yep.
In the weeks following my diagnostic test, I have been solely focusing on improving my performance on the logic game section because I am not yet perfect on that aspect of the test. I wouldn't suggest focusing solely on games.
Yeah, for 3 weeks of just doing games. I mean, you're not perfect on the other sections either, Jason. Like, games is the section that I believe you should perfect before you apply. Like, if you're not perfect yet, it's because you haven't done the work. Everybody can get perfect on the games if you do the work. So do the work. And Jason drank that Kool-Aid, which is amazing. Like, thank you, Jason, for following our advice. But yeah, I would mix in, hey, 1 section a week of LR, 1 section a week of reading comp.
Yeah, if not more. I mean, I don't know how well he's performing in those other sections. My Probably default assumption good. Is, shake it up, keep it relatively even.
Yeah, check out my blog post, 1 hour LSAT. If you search for like 1 hour LSAT Demon, or you'll guaranteed find it. But it was a proposed study schedule for what to do if you want to spend 1 hour a day, and it was like, and if you have a particular weakness in a particular area, like Jason does in games, well, then you could add it. You could add to it. You could supplement it with additional games.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's also assuming that this is his weak section. He says he's doing it because he's not perfect there yet. He still could be doing better in games than the other two. So I don't know enough to really say.
This guy's a badass.
Yeah. His next sentence, my UGPA is a 4.0 on LSAT's scale. My undergraduate major was biology, which is great. That's no walk in the park. My target LSAT score is a 170.
Nope. No, it's not.
It's higher than that.
Yeah,
sure.
Your target LSAT is as high as you can get, Jason, and as high as you can get is probably 180. I mean, nobody like it's kind of ridiculous to shoot for 180 because, what is it? 1 out of 1,000 or something get it, and it's not necessary because 170, let's say 177
just to be
does
safe, sure,
all of the job of a 180. And at most schools, a 170 anything is going to be doing all of the job of a 180. But certain schools are not most schools. And you might, who knows? Dude, you could go to Yale. You could go to Harvard. You could go to Stanford. Are you fucking kidding me? STEM 4.0 military experience.
Yeah.
With a 177, I'd be like, you need to blanket the top 14 or pick and choose even. Like, don't, the places you would never go, don't apply. But oh my God, your offers are going to be incredible.
I would still consider applying, if not to get their offers and then use them as negotiation. And people change their minds. I mean,
yeah.
Anyways, Jason continues, I'm planning on signing up for the September 2022 LSAT, which means I would have approximately 70 days to study for the test. Bold and underline. Do you think 70 days is enough time to study for the LSAT and obtain my target score?
I just don't know. Oh, read the next sentence.
I work full time, but I assess it is possible for me to study at least 1 hour per day during the work week and 3 to 4 hours on the weekend. I think it can be accomplished. I don't think it's an unreasonable goal. Sometimes people write in and they have aspirations that just seem highly unlikely. I don't think this is highly unlikely. I think you could achieve a high 170 score within 70 days. You're already at 160, which means so much of this test is already intuitive to you. But you won't know until you start studying and taking practice tests and doing drilling. And so just work toward it. If you make it, great. If you don't, shoot for October.
Yeah. And also, I don't know, he's asking very specific questions about a very specific goal on a very specific timeline. And we're just always going to have to kind of go like, I don't know, probably, but why don't you aim higher first? Like, why 170? There's nothing magic about that.
Yeah. Don't let other constraints within or other goals within your life prevent you from going to Yale. Don't let, I got to apply this fall. And so that means I have to take the test in September and I have to get a 170 by then, and then limiting yourself to 170 because you've limited yourself in these other ways.
Yeah. And then end up doing like so I'll go to some other school in the top 14 or what, like I don't want to shit on Georgetown, but it's like,
well, going there and also not going for free necessarily, like maybe getting like kind of mediocre scholarships. Yeah. Because 170 in the top, even with a 4.0 at the top schools, I don't think the scholarships are great. Some are great. What are they? I'm going to look.
170, 4.0.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the best full ride on the estimator with a 170 and a 4.0?
The best full ride is rank 6, University of Penn.
Okay.
Pennsylvania Law. That's pretty good, but
yeah. It's really good. What if we change that to a 175?
Now you're looking at the University of Chicago Law School and Columbia. Full ride. Yeah,
Chicago, which just climbed up into the top 3 basically by giving scholarships to, like the elite of the elite. And 170 is elite in a way, but it's not the elite of the elite. High 170s, Jason, I think is what you should really ideally be targeting here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question.
Yeah. If I sign up for the LSAT Demon, will I almost certainly reach my target score?
I'd be shocked if you don't make it from 160 to 170. Not necessarily in 70 days though, but like I can't imagine. Jason definitely has the horsepower. Jason definitely has the work ethic. Jason wants to follow our advice. Jason's listening to the podcast already and, really trying to adopt our recommendations. How does he not make it to 170?
Yeah. And I would encourage you to try live. I think you're the perfect candidate to benefit the most from the Demon. So,
yeah, 1 month of the live program and see how that goes. And then you can downgrade it later to self-study if you need to study for longer. But man, $295, I feel like we're going to remove so many obstacles for that $295. Like there's got to be all kinds of weird things that you're thinking about this test. And we're going to correct those immediately to make your study time more efficient.
next question. What other advice do you have for me so I cannot pay for law school?
Get the best LSAT you can and apply on September 1st.
And apply broadly.
Yeah.
Well, he's taking the September LSAT.
So maybe don't apply this cycle. If you really want to, hey, he said his primary goal is to not pay for law school. It is entirely possible that Jason will get a scholarship this cycle. I mean, certainly he'll get scholarships somewhere this cycle if he applies in, early October.
Yeah.
The problem, Jason, is that you won't know what your very best offers might have been if you had applied at the very beginning of the cycle. But maybe I'm being too much of a purist on this issue.
I mean, just make sure to apply broadly and apply early so that the second that September score drops, everything should be ready.
Yep. And then be willing to walk away, be willing to push it another cycle if necessary. Because boy, if you had another year, then it would be like a shoe-in. Like just no-brainer.
And I agree. And I don't want the September score to become the final score because it's September, right? Like Jason's going to get a 173 in September, but have the potential to get a 178.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, again, compromise because you're trying to meet these other goals that are not as important.
And have opportunities to go to some of the very best law schools in the entire country if he just got a few more points. And he could have my high practice test score was a 177. But, 173, that's a good score. It meets my goal of 170. So I want to apply this cycle. So I'm going to apply now. And it's like, really, dude? Because you could have gone to Yale.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could have gone to a school like Chicago on a full ride. Yeah, I mean, if you get a full ride, those GI Bill benefits can, in some cases, transfer over to your kids or other people in your family. And just because you've got them doesn't mean you have to spend them. The law schools are willing to give you full rides if you have the right number.
And that also means that you're now in the top of your class, or much more likely to end up in the top of your class at those schools. So a full scholarship isn't just about the money.
Yeah. Also, if you shoot for September LSAT as your one and done, that's the day, you decrease your chances of getting your best score on that day.
Because it has so much more weight, right?
It just, you end up not treating it like it's just another practice test. You end up, building this anxiety bomb for yourself because you're putting all your eggs in the September basket. And you could potentially avoid that, Jason, by just being willing to lengthen that timeline a little bit and say, well, no, I'm taking it in September and October and November and potentially twice more next summer if I need to, and have my applications ready to go day one of the next cycle. And then, slam dunk, go to law school for free at a really top school too.
Yep.
Cool. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.